in terms of implementing, so after going through the process, like it's kind of a so what moment when, yeah, okay, we've had a good chat about this, and what are we going to do about it? What I've found again really important is to make sure the ownership stays with the players and to make sure that the generation of the ideas of the plan starts with the players and stays with the players. And I'm here to listen, and I'm here to, I guess, help refine or suggest if there's another way, from my own experience. But I can't provide the answers, and I'm certainly not going to prescribe anything, because they need to have autonomy over what they're doing. So I can help with questions. You know, if you were to make that into sort of bite-sized pieces Monday through Friday, or at your university training, what would that look like? How long would that take? Okay, is that going to be something realistically you're going to do on these days? So I just give those little question prompts for them. Well, what I'm listening for from them is that sort of change language around, yeah, I'm going to do this. I want to do this because this, so I will. And then that keeps it really firmly in their court. I don't want it to be something that comes back on me because they're not doing it because it's unrealistic from the start, and it's something that they've not generated themselves.
Once you've gone through the process, done the action plan, um, and then you've just got to commit to doing it. And it's, I think, just with anything, it's easy to have ideas about things but then put them on hold, whereas if you just, I guess, start that process, do it away. And I think that's where doing it with the coach is really good, because it holds you accountable, and it holds both of you accountable to putting that in place. And I guess having regular checkups with people as well, to see where you're going, and seeing the process you are making. And I know from personal experience, it's made my training program so much better, and it's helped me improve my game so much. So if I were to encourage you, I'd say get that plan in place after doing it.
You need to make sure that you've got your whole network on the same page, and if you are comfortable sharing your results and IPP with all of your stakeholders, I think that would be a good place to start, around making sure that everyone's on the same page and ultimately agrees with what you're trying to achieve as an athlete. And again, I think that can create some real good talking points if there is disagreement with someone or something like that. And then that hopefully will, through those conversations, you'll get to a point where everyone's on the same page around what you should be working on and the specific amount of time that you spend on each skill, because obviously you only have a finite amount of time in a week. So if you're spending a lot of your time on something that isn't necessarily going to help you get better as a player, then there might need to be some those I guess action plans might need to be revisited a little bit, so that you can get the proportion of your time spent in a week on the right track.
I guess each week I have my training week all planned out, and over time you build really good relationships with your coaches. So a lot of the stuff now is I'm kind of working on similar things from a year ago, but it's adding a few more things in it, and then it's just getting better at what I'm doing. And each session going to your coach, telling him or her what you want to work on, and nailing it. And
use the card sort. We use it as like the tool at the center of everything. So, again, and it brings everything back to the athlete being the center. So when we're having discussions with different team coaches, or S&C, the mental skills, whatever it is, everything comes back to this tool that sits in the middle. So this is just kind of the tool that allows the discussions and the coordination, the connections between all of the support team to come together. It allows us to be really well aligned on what we're working on. So who's this is what they're working on, so we're not working in different directions. Yeah. I think before this, the player would sit in the middle and get pulled in a heap of different directions, and at the end of the day get burnt out, get overwhelmed, get pressured by different people that were all really focused on their environment at that point in time.
Advice for making sure that you keep doing your action plan is to keep it visible. A good easy one to do is just put it up on your wall at home so that when you wake up in the morning, you can see the action plan that you've come up with, because ultimately your career is in your hands. And the second part to that is making sure that you're reviewing it as you set out in your action plan, so that once you've worked on something for a specific amount of time, that then you revisit that and see, is this still something that I need to keep working on, or have my strengths changed slightly and this is now something that I need to work on.
So I'm a really big fan of having like set systems in place. So this is what I want to work on. This is what I'm going to do. These are the systems that I'll put in place to make sure that I'm doing it. These are the checkpoints to make sure that I'm tracking how it's going. I think if you can put actual structure around that and not just good intentions, it goes a long way to changing behaviors and getting some of those healthy habits on a daily basis.